Welcome back to Catholic Messenger Conversations, our monthly podcast with Bishop Thomas Zinkula. I'm Barbara Lynn Fye, your host, although I think Bishop knows that. Today we focus on the Bishop's prayer intentions and his desire to keep the people of our diocese close to his heart through the prayers that you submit to him. Bishop, I know that people often ask you to pray for them, maybe a specific intention about something or someone in their lives. When you have so many prayer requests, how have you been responding to these requests, and what are the challenges to honoring those requests?
Yeah, so that's part of the reason why I'm doing this, and because it's often spur of the moment. Somebody mentions it in passing, or I'm coming to their parish and they're ready for me to, here's this prayer, and it sort of ends up being kind of hit and miss, and like maybe they'll give me the name of the person or something, or I'll ask them to jot it down, or I'll try to remember to jot it down. But I could be in the church at that time,
right.
I'm greeting people or something, and then it's haphazard, scattered, and whatever. I mean, I do get sometimes an email or a note in the mail where people ask me to pray for them. So then that's something on paper. So that's a different thing. But I've tried different things over the years. I have a booklet and just write things in, so I have it there.
Yes.
And then it's that becomes tedious, and I kind of, get out of the habit of doing that. And plus, it's still, it's hard to remember what you heard.
You ever pray for the wrong name? I've done that before. I pray for someone with the wrong name.
Yeah, no, what I do, though, and then I feel bad if I don't pray for them.
Yeah.
Because I've forgotten. Okay, there's this and that and whatever people have been telling me recently, and I know I'm forgetting some. So what I do, sort of this kind of a mental thing, I like, when I'm praying for intentions, I'll kind of visualize or just kind of think about, there's this basket.
Oh, cool.
That this, I put all of them in there, in that basket. Maybe just things I've heard here and there, and then whatever's in that basket. Some of them I remember, a lot of them I remember, but some I don't. And whatever's in that basket, God knows what they are. Yeah. And I offer those intentions.
So you say, I pray for everyone in the basket?
Yeah, exactly. Well, what the heck.
So you've created this website to accept prayer intention. No, it's not a website. I was told it's a web page.
All right, yeah.
So what are your reasons for seeking individual prayer intentions in this manner? I guess you just explained that, but... No,
that's one of the reasons. There's more.
Okay.
So that one reason that I've already talked about is it's more organized, it's more uniform, it's more egalitarian in the sense of it's, more fair, equal, sort of, it's not just this kind of...
You love all your children equally, right?
Yeah, right. So they have an equal shot at me, whatever.
Good.
And more systematic. So that's one reason. Another reason is just the idea of being in solidarity with the people in the diocese and in communion with them in a kind of more particular way. So I'm really big on the communion of the saints. That's a huge thing for me. I talk about it a lot, whatever. And
that covers the living and the dead.
It covers living and the dead, right? Believers scattered around the world, and those in heaven, canonized or not, Jesus, the angels. We're all in communion.
And would be faithful. And would be faithful?
Well, I suppose, yeah. I mean, God can work forwards and whatever, and I never thought about that. That's how to reflect on that. That's deep.
Maybe you can put them in your basket.
Yeah, right. So there's just this mystical union and spiritual thing. I really feel that. So this is, I just feel like there'll be a deeper bond with the people in the parishes, and I'll feel closer to them and each other if I'm praying for their intentions.
Right.
So, that's another reason. Another reason would be I'll have a better sense of the pulse of the diocese. What are people concerns about? I mean, there could be, if I'm hearing a lot about this or that, it's sort of like I kind of have a better sense of what's going on out there. Another reason is guilt, a little bit of guilt, not a lot, but people praying for me at every Mass. People pray for me by name in the Eucharistic prayer, right?
Right.
Every single Mass. So, I mean, I pray for people every Mass I celebrate, I pray for the people of the parish,
of the
every
diocese.
Mass? Oh, okay. I do.
Okay.
That's in my head, yeah.
Okay.
In the Eucharistic prayer especially. But particularly on Sunday, like there's a prayer, every priest is to offer Mass for the people of the parish. And I don't know if a bishop has to do this, but I do it, where I offer it for the people of the diocese, a Sunday Mass.
But you'd love to be able to identify them 90,000.
Yeah, to be able to have it, so they didn't pray for me by name. And so to be able to pray for people, their specific intentions, if they give their name, that's great. The name of the person they want me to pray for. So and I know people, besides at Mass, people will say to me that they're praying for me in their personal prayer as well. And that's really meaningful for me. Every day, you're praying for me,
Yeah.
And, and so, and I feel that. The prayers at Mass, prayers, personal prayer, that, and the grace of the Sacrament of Holy Orders. How do you quantify that or exactly, prove that? But I feel that holding me up in a big way. Those two things I really feel helps me to deal with hard things and
like a pandemic.
Exercise my ministry. Yeah, like a pandemic. Yeah.
Wow.
So those are, and then the other thing is a selfish reason.
Yes.
My thing has been contemplative prayer. I mean, I pray Liturgy of the Hours at the Mass and, other devotional kinds of things, but kind of really a significant part of my prayer over the years has been contemplative prayer, just kind of being, just kind of meditation, just kind of reflecting. And I've noticed in recent years, as I get older, I shut my eyes and I drift off. Yeah.
Wow.
And I was just like, man, I talked to my spiritual director about that. I've been the last 2 or 3 years, I need to kind of, things evolve. What works at one time maybe doesn't work as well. So I still can do that some, but it can't be as much at the heart of my personal prayer as it has been. So I need to adjust. So that's kind of more, somewhat more abstract, I suppose. And so this will be more particular, but that's part of it. That's
cool, because I think you told me about contemplative prayer, and I've been trying to do that, but it's just not. I'd fall asleep.
It's not for everybody. But so that's it's sort of selfish too. This will help me to pray better, So it's
So how will people submit prayers on this webpage?
All right. So I don't know exactly how this works because there's people in the diocese that have put that together, but we went. The main thing would be the web page because it's a better way to kind of have them all grouped together in terms of like printing it off and stuff, and it's just cleaner for us.
Right.
So that's the kind of the preferred way of getting their intentions to me.
Okay.
And so they put together a page, and they've showed it to me. Again, this is. I need to delegate,
That's right.
So I don't know, but I think it has, the intention obviously.
Yeah, right.
And it's optional whether they want to put the person that they're praying for. If it's a person, it wouldn't have to be a person, It could be about just we need rain, or something, But if there's a person, it's optional. They can put the name in there, Hopefully they will, even if it's just a first name, because it's nice to. And then their own name is optional as well. They don't have to put that.
Okay.
So there's that, and then there's also if people aren't, that's not their thing. The internet, whatever. Maybe sometimes people, like especially older people, they can do email though.
Right.
So if the
so they could. There's also an email address.
They can also email,
right?
And they also can, they also can just send a note or card.
Right.
It's a little more work
in the
than
letter, like a
letter or something. Yeah.
In the mail.
So they have whatever works for them. I mean, they can call if they want to.
Right.
But we'll kind of preference the web page.
And then will you have English and Spanish, or what languages will you have available for?
Yeah, no, we've talked about that, and they have it on the website, the webpage. It's in Spanish as well.
Okay.
It's okay. Here's whatever the instructions are for this. I think it's pretty simple, but they have that, and then it's with regard to emails too, if they want to those come in Spanish.
Do you have a Spanish translator?
Well, yeah, we've talked about it. A lot of this is we'll figure out kind of the logistics of,
Right.
once they start coming in and once we kind of put it out there. But what I've talked to my executive secretary, Emily.
Yes.
So it's like she'll be kind of helping with this thing.
Another job for her
Yeah,
to
right.
do.
We'll
She's
add it
happy
to her,
about that, right?
to her job description.
She said, "Thank you very much."
She's been sloughing off lately. So no, we.
Well, what
we talked about is she knows Spanish a little bit, but then also there's translation things.
Right.
If we can get the gist of it, and if it's something she doesn't know, kind of.
Right.
There's like online translation things, right?
Right, exactly.
And then there's
it gets close.
And then it's close if it's, and then there's people, there's Miguel, there's Hugo, there's Anna, there's plenty of people that can, if she gets stuck on something.
Right. Oh, that's great. What type of prayers are you expecting, or what kind of prayers can people submit?
They can submit whatever they want. I mean,
That's right.
It could be something. Praising God, will you praise God with me? Like they're praise God and ask me to join them, whatever.
That's right.
Or giving thanks for something.
Right.
But that's all fine. But with intercessions, petitionary prayer, normally, like at Mass anyway, we think about a need, something we're asking God to to help us with. So I'm guessing it's going to be more of that kind of a thing.
You think it'll be more like personal, maybe people?
Yeah, I'm guessing it'll be more
like a relative or a friend.
Yeah, I'm guessing it'll be more of that. Hopefully there'll also be things like praying for world peace, or
that's right.
With regard to racism.
Right.
Hopefully it's not just about my own personal thing, but
right.
which is fine. That's going to be probably more of that, but. It'd be nice to have some bigger things beyond just the individual person.
That's great. So it's not necessarily, I did ask my husband, I said, would you submit a prayer? And he goes, I don't know. And so I'm thinking some people might be reluctant if they're not used to like putting their name out there. Will anybody be able to look at the prayers that are submitted?
No, just me. And Emily helping me with this.
Okay.
So the idea is, maybe once a week or twice a week. Again, we have to figure this out. She'll just print off whatever's there.
Oh, that's right, because you're submitting on a form, so it only goes.
Yeah.
You're the only one.
Yeah,
who will
nobody's
see
gonna. No, right, and they don't even have to give their name. So it's and then she'll maybe add. I don't know. Maybe add the, what's on the web page. Maybe she'll add. Email.
Right.
And so it's not a whole bunch of different sheets of paper, or if there's something that was submitted by a letter or something, maybe she'll put that in there, and so it's all kind of.
What
together.
if you get like 600 of these prayers a day? I'm just maybe that's an exaggeration, but that's gonna be a lot of work for her and for you, right?
So you cast out into the deep, and
right.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a risk of I don't know. I'm kind of I don't know. This is kind of it's a little bit of a risk
uncharted
in that respect.
territory.
But I'm guessing it'll be probably maybe more so early on, and then not then it'll settle down a little bit. Hopefully there'll be somebody that's, but there's like 100,000 people,
how many
Catholics in the diocese, so if everybody did that, it'd be a problem. But most people won't, of course.
What if there are repeat people? Like, the persistent widow, she just kept after that judge in Luke's gospel, so I'm thinking, what about...
there will be people like that.
Yeah, so what are you going to do about that?
I don't know. What do you think, Barb?
I think that you take their prayer into consideration and repeat it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there will be some people that
people aren't expecting you to not acknowledge their prayers
no,
anyway, right?
I can't do that. Yeah, it'll be some messiness. That's the way it is. Yeah, I don't know that we can say, okay, you can only send this many, or this often, or
we have a letters to editor policy where we say one letter a month, but that's not.
Yeah,
you don't want to be restrictive.
It might be where we need to put something like that on the web page eventually if it becomes, because there are going to be people who are. Just different personalities
kind of
and
whining and stuff like that, maybe.
Well, or just some people that are more I don't know, different personalities like that, where they're kind of good people and everything, but they're the more I put out there, the the more chance will be answered or something. There's whatever people think different ways, so that there will be that kind of a thing.
And you'll just have to see what happens and figure out as it goes, right? This is something that you can adjust as you go along. You can pray about it. You can pray about how you want to
pray about it. If I have time after all these petitions that are coming in.
Is Emily the one who's going to keep track of all these prayers, or how are you going to?
That's the plan.
Man, she's a brave person, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it's the web page, it's just, you just print it off. Because the thing about that is it can be one after another.
That's true.
Email is like a different email, So it's,
okay, so the drum roll question. How, when, and where will you pray these intentions?
Yeah, and again, that's something I need to sort out. I'll probably pray in my chapel in my apartment. There's an altar in there and kneeler and chairs, a couple chairs, and the Blessed Sacrament, and so that's where I pray normally. So that's I'm envisioning myself praying in there. In terms of how often, I'm not sure. I'm thinking about different things. It could be that, it could be once a week. I'm guessing it'll be more than that if this is going to be part of my prayer life.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got 90,000 people sending prayers, you may have to.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I'd like to think it would be something I would do hopefully most days.
Yeah.
Unless I'm just rushing around and stuff, but I pray every day, so. It could be just. Yeah,
I wonder, will you do it like you get Monday's prayers and Tuesday's prayers, or?
No, if you were Emily, how would you feel about that?
I would feel like that's a lot of work.
No, I'm thinking, at least once a week, maybe maybe Monday or Friday. I don't know. We have to sort out those kinds of kinks and figure out the logistics, but and it could be where, I pray every day or most days pray some of these intentions, and maybe one day a week I'm praying these before Mass, and then I just offer a Mass for all these intentions for the week or something.
You may need that mental basket to put all those prayers in.
I might need that, you're right, yeah. So we'll figure it out.
So you say that your prayers for others are no more important than anyone else's prayers. Can you explain what you mean by that? Because, there are going to be people saying, oh, well, gosh, I've got the bishop praying for me.
Right. And so the line I like this line. I use it a lot because it really works for me. I got it from somewhere. And I think this was in context of a preacher. But I would say any baptized believer or bishop or whoever it is that I'm just one poor beggar telling other poor beggars where I found food. So I'm the bishop. I'm just another poor beggar, right? I found spiritual food in the church, in the sacraments, in God, in Jesus. And so my prayers they're not any, there's the widow's mite, right?
Right.
Here's this little gal, and she gave all, she had to, and so who am I? People like that, their prayers, people like that should be, they're the ones that probably have more, more power in terms of prayer. But no, it's not. I mean,
that thought you just expressed is beautiful. But I mean, I think when we think about it, you are the bishop and you're the shepherd. So mean, it's not that your prayers are more important.
No,
but
I think it's the bond more.
Yeah.
It's that. I mean, because when I think of prayer, especially, petitionary prayer, I mean, my motto is, "Thy will be done."
Right.
So God is saying, "Ask and you shall receive," and whatever God's will is, I can't change God's will.
Right.
But I can, I can present it along with, with one of the faithful in the diocese. So I mean, even how, in terms of how prayers are.
So you don't have
answered.
more pull with Mary or with Jesus or anything like that
I don't.
than I do even, or maybe.
Hopefully it doesn't detract from what people are praying. No, like I always say, thy will be done in everything, my motto. But then also often, if at the end of the prayer of the faithful Mass, I'll say, ask God to hear these prayers and answer them as you think best.
Yes.
So whatever this prayer is, I don't know how God should answer it.
Right.
And in fact, sometimes with petitions, so it's like, for this person, whatever their thing is, that they will be healed, all that, some things like that. Sometimes I just do the first part of that. Sometimes the prayers, petitionary prayers at Mass, I'll just say for so-and-so and whoever, people who are sick.
Right.
And then just leave it like that. I don't know what the best thing is for that. So in terms of just...
Because you are going to have lots of people who are praying for you or asking you for wellness or to recover for a family member to recover from surgery or whatever.
Yeah. So how I look at that?
Yeah.
At this point in my life, Jesus says, ask and you will receive. He doesn't say you receive exactly what you ask for.
Right.
So like in terms of healing, people they want this person to be healed or they want a cure.
Right.
So that's really, they might use the word healing, but they want a cure, that they're restored to health fully. And I don't know I don't think God always answers things like that exactly. There's a difference between healing and curing. So looking for a cure. Mm-hmm. Healing, that's a multi-level kind of a thing. That could be, we're looking for physical healing or psychological healing or whatever. It could be a spiritual thing or something. Right. Like Jesus in the Gospels, people bring folks to him who need to be healed for some sickness or something, whatever it is. There are times when he forgives them. So they're coming to him. They're not necessarily looking for forgiveness. Right. They're looking for this person to be healed, and Jesus forgives them. Because why does he do that? My way of thinking is that's a bigger thing even than physical healing. And then so sometimes, you can't see that. You can't. And they're like, prove it. How do we know that you healed it, that you forgave this person, that he was forgiven? Then he'll do a physical healing, which you can see. Exactly. So we think we know what's best, and and we don't always. Sometimes, we ask, we ask for something that's not good for us, and God's answer is no. I love you. There's that line. What father would give his son a snake when he asks for a fish? So if we ask for a snake, be careful what you ask for. But God's our loving Father, he's going to say, I'm not going to give you a snake. You might want that, but it's not good for you. But then what he might do is, this is my reflection on it. Okay, somebody wants, I want to be rich. Help me, I want to win the lottery. Right. And somebody thinks that's going to be, that their life will be set. And I can tell you that'll cause more problems than, in terms of all of a sudden you have a lot of money, it leads to all kinds of problems often actually. So God might say, okay, they think that'll make them happy, all this money, and, maybe they'll have, more friends because of that, and they're lonely, and they think, this will be, and actually the people who will come to you they're not going to be your friends that are attracted to the money, But maybe God answers that by sending friends your way, and you don't even see. So God never answered my prayer, in terms of winning the lottery, but God might have answered that prayer, the deeper desire actually, and you might not even see it. Or maybe sometimes people ask for something and it's a trivial thing, and God wants to give us even more than that, and we don't even see it sometimes unless we're reflective and open.
But what if you're asking for, for instance, I'll ask, for my older son with autism, that he'll thrive in the setting that he's in. So that's something I'm asking for, and I'm hoping that will happen. So I guess, or if someone says, please pray for my child who has leukemia and is doing very poorly, so what, when you get a prayer like that, they're not asking for they're not asking for something necessarily for themselves or something out of avarice or anything like that.
Yeah, but it's just it's a mystery, Barb, in terms of, we don't want bad things. Why do bad things happen to good people? Yeah. I don't know, but all I know is sometimes, like this pandemic,
Yeah.
What are some good things that have come out of this thing, this bad thing?
Right.
I don't understand all that. I'm just this little peon, in terms of,
Right. There are moments of grace for sure.
Yeah, and so I don't know what's best, and whatever these prayers that come my way, I'm going to pray for what they ask for. But it's going in my mind, it's going to be, I'm going to pray for this thing, and answer it, however you think best. It's my usual thing. I don't know if what they're praying for is the best thing or not. I'm going to pray for it, but if it's something, that's what I'm feeling anyway and thinking. If it's something that's, that's better,
right,
for them or for the world, whatever. It's your world, God, not mine.
Right.
Do what you want.
Well, and I told you about that friend of mine whose husband is very, very sick.
Yeah.
And has had all kinds. I mean, he's really in very poor shape, and she hasn't asked for healing. She's just asked for prayers. So that's kind of what you're.
Yeah, I mean, most people are going to ask for healing or a cure or whatever.
Right.
That's normal, and that's natural, and that's good. And
right.
But I think we also need to, even when we do that, be open to God taking this wherever He's going to, and being open to seeing how God can work in this situation, and like hard things can make us bitter, or they can make us better.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
And so God didn't, he's not answering my prayer the way I want Him to, and then we can become angry and everything, or we can tap into our faith and be open to, where is God in this thing?
So there may be people who pray, please help me, I'm angry with God for what's happened.
Right. Yeah.
What do you pray in that case? What do you pray for them in that
That's
case?
what I'll pray. I'll pray, I'll reflect on it and hope that they can find some peace and
right.
they sometimes, and patience, because sometimes God's going to answer our prayer, but it's not like in our, maybe we're not ready to receive
right.
whatever He wants to give us. So for there to be patience, and for people to be reflective and open and trying to look for how God is answering their prayer, maybe
right.
in a different way.
Right.
I think we can see that. Maybe sometimes we never even see that,
right.
consciously, but I think we miss it a lot too, though, because we don't reflect. We're not reflective enough.
I once interviewed someone who said that she would never pray for patience because God will test it.
Yeah.
So I never pray for patience.
Okay. Well.
I think I'm going to get
But
tested.
I can pray for your patience, Barb. You can send it my way.
Oh, no. What happens if you receive a prayer that, will there be any unacceptable prayers? Or, you'll get some goofy requests, I suppose.
Well, yeah, probably. Or, right. Yeah, I could think of, examples. But, again, I'm not going to pray for something that's not good. I don't think it's like it's like the someone asking for a fish and being giving a snake.
Right.
I'm the
Maybe
shepherd. I care about these
way.
people.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. If somebody asks me to do something that's not good,
right.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to pray it either. But okay, unless it's some really goofball thing,
right. Yeah.
Where's this person really coming from?
Right.
And I don't know.
Right.
I'm not going to know maybe, but I'll say, God, I don't know where this person is coming from, but
help
there's
them.
something that's here. That's this thing. Maybe you do what you want, God. I don't know, whatever. But
yeah.
I'm not. I'm wanting to pray for this thing, but there's something unhealthy or whatever,
right.
and heal that person or help that person, be with that person.
Right. Or do you ever just say, God, this is in your hands?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. I'll pray, but I'm not going to pray for something that's.
Are you concerned that people are going to come up to you and say, "Hey, did you get my prayer?" Or did you pray my prayer request? I don't think people will, but who knows? Do you think?
Yeah,
people
I hadn't
come
thought
up
about that. I'm sure I will hear that, and as I go around, I'm sure I sent you a prayer thing, and they'll say you probably don't remember, and unless it's
and you'll
something
say you're right, I don't remember.
Yeah, well, unless it's something that really stands out. With these things too.
You're the one that asked that really weird prayer.
Yeah, right. No, but there'll be some that'll stick with me throughout the day, probably.
Yeah.
For sure. There'll be some that are kind of more sort of, I don't know, you can think of different examples
right.
where I'm like, I'll just carry it with me. And that's, again, it's a chance to, just be bonded.
Do you see anything like any kind of confessional kind of prayers there, or?
I don't know.
Guess we'll find out, right?
I'll find out, yeah.
So what am I forgetting to ask you? Any other thoughts about how this prayer effort is shaping you as a bishop or as a...
Yeah, no, I've been thinking about this for actually quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I started thinking about it, but I don't know, probably, I'll bet at least a couple of years, 2 or 3 years. I'm just
great.
sort of, whatever reason, I've been thinking about it, and I'm busy, and I'm gonna do it. It's kind of part of it is Lent,
Right.
Kind of Lent got me thinking about kind of my prayer life and things, and then falling asleep increasingly.
That's right.
Kind of whenever I shut my eyes, not, it's not quite that bad, but it's not, it's often. So then I'm
Right.
just kind of, I need to adjust things, and I think part of it is just wanting to, it's a way to be closer to the people.
Right.
It's, just in terms of just it being the specific.
So you'll be doing this just in your own prayer time, as opposed to saying, the Mass, you'll still do the pray for the intentions of all
right,
the people.
yeah.
This will be something separate in your chapel or something like that.
It will be. But also, as I was saying, I might take it to the Mass, a Mass, maybe a Mass, or maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll be part of it. Like I pray before I celebrate Mass, and maybe it'll just be a regular thing.
Right.
I'll pray for everybody at Mass, but then especially these things petitions I just read and prayed with, and just to be kind of incorporated in that part of my spirituality. I don't know. We'll see.
That sounds great. Bishop, thank you for talking with us about prayer. We'll have to do another podcast at some point about how it all shapes up as it goes on.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see kind of how it goes.
Okay.
So Barb, pray for me that this goes well. I don't get like 1,000 every day.
I will pray for you, because Bishop, that'll be interesting. I'll take a sneak peek in your chapel and see how long you're there praying for people.
Right.
Thanks very much, Bishop. We'll see you next month.
You bet. Thanks, Barb.
Bye.